Welcome to Being a Successful Leader with Carl Welty. Carl is a leadership pioneer with years of challenging leadership and consulting experience. Here's Carl with some valuable insights, practical and proven methods for being a successful leader.
Welcome to the podcast series, Being a Successful Leader. I'm Carl Welty, your host. The intent is to provide you with valuable insights and practical and proven methods for being a successful leader. The series consists of 26 episodes covering 3 areas of emphasis. And these 3 areas of emphasis are what I consider to be essential elements of successful leadership. Number 1, self-awareness. Number 2, sound strategy. And number 3, a culture of commitment. Each episode will run about 15 minutes to a half hour. And under each of these 3 elements, self-awareness, sound strategy, and culture of commitment, there'll be valuable, relevant, and very interesting topics under each area. My passion has always been effective leadership and organization, team, and leader effectiveness. And fortunately, through my professional career, I've been able to feed that passion through various leadership roles I've had in a variety of settings, through the consulting I've done, the coaching I've done, the many leadership development series I put together and provided, and continuous studying. Along the journey, I've been able to gather up a lot of what I consider to be very practical know-how. Leadership, as you know, is not an art, it's a science. So in this series, you're not going to get precise formulas and absolute answers and that sort of thing. But like any art, you have various concepts, tools, structures, processes, and such to help you, in this particular case, develop your leadership art form. As we approach the first of the 3 areas of emphasis, self-awareness, we'll be working through several episodes and go through a sequence of first developing the self-aware you, not that you're not already self-aware, but hopefully deepen that a little bit. And then we need to couple that with a perceptive you so that being more self-aware, you'll be also more self-aware of what's going on, people you're dealing with and the situation. So self-aware you, perceptive you, and then a skillful you. We're going to spend a little time on the back end of the self-awareness segment to look at effective communication patterns and also being self-adaptive, your behavior to fit the situation. All adds up to being a more effective you. Today's topic is the value of knowing the real you, value of knowing the real you. And what this is all about is to discuss the significant value to be gained through a heightened state of consciousness, to surface your key subconscious preferences and priorities to allow you to be more aware of the drivers of your thoughts, feelings, and behavior. Think of an iceberg, and we're all aware of that. And a lot of what the iceberg consists of is below the surface. And what we're trying to do here in the self-awareness segment is to surface some of those subconscious priorities and preferences so you're more aware and then have a lot of advantages that you can capture from this heightened awareness. Okay, today's start is to talk about the value for heightened self-awareness. Let's start with the value for anyone, and then we'll go to the value for you, especially as a leader. In general, heightened self-awareness allows you to better manage you incorporated, gaining greater clarity regarding the drivers of your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Now, specifically, the values include you'll be able to be more authentic, avoid being a phony. Nobody likes a phony, and it's easy for people to detect when there's a misalignment of people's behavior, thoughts, and expressions and so forth, and what they truly think or feel. A second specific advantage is gain more personal effectiveness, that is, doing the right things, and efficiency, doing things right. Another one is peace of mind, the alignment that comes with thinking, feeling, and behavior with the real you. Another is define and navigate your destiny. This is a biggie. Create or choose paths that are right for you versus leaving it to the fate of someone else to decide what's right for you. to be able to glide versus grind it out. Here's a good question for you. Who would you be, if no one ever told you who you should be? We get a lot of input through our lives, and a lot is well-intended and so forth and so on, but it all comes down to you thinking through what's best for you and what you can really excel at. Another advantage is a keener self-awareness. As you experience life out there with a great awareness of yourself, there's a tendency you'll be more aware of just what's going on with others in the situation. Daniel Goleman calls this EI, emotional intelligence. But I see it, that term has always been a little bit limiting to me. Emotional to me is kind of too narrow a term. And intelligence deals more, I think, with the brain, where we're talking about consciousness here, the mind. So it's always been a little bit narrow for me. I came up originally some years ago with social intelligence as a substitute for emotional intelligence, but of late, the term I like to use for what we're talking about here is level of consciousness. And I define it as the degree of awareness of self and others and just what is going on. And that leads to an enhanced quality of communications and relationships. Let me repeat that because it's important. Level of consciousness, that's what we're trying to raise here, is the degree of which awareness of self and others exists, and also in terms of what is going on. This leads to enhanced quality in communications and relationships. Another advantage, and the final one for anybody, would be continuous learning and growth. Being more aware of the real you allows you to focus more in terms of your needs of personal development. Let's move now to, having finished values for anyone, to especially values for leaders. Number one is a leadership fit. You're better in a position to ascertain what leadership roles or organizations and assignments and that sort of thing best fits the real you. Alignment of your personal values, organizational culture values, and that sort of thing. Another is model the way. Modeling the way, very, very important practice of leadership. And it starts with you as the leader. Creating an organizational culture or an organizational unit climate if you're a leader of a department or a region via the organization as a whole. And defining and living the values. It's one thing to define them, another one to live it. Another value for you as a leader is honesty, integrity. This is a biggie. Being authentic about talking the talk and walking the talk. The number one characteristic of admired leaders, based on the exhaustive research spreading over the globe for over 30 years of Kouzes and Posner of the Leadership Challenge fame, is that honesty is the number one characteristic of admired leaders. Now, I add to that integrity. They are different. Honest is speaking the truth. Integrity is doing what you say you're going to do. That's the walking the talk part. I talked to Jim Kouzes about this, and he said, well, in their research, they lumped integrity in with honesty. I separate it. They're different, but we'll put both of them right up there at the top. Just for the completion here, the others that appear consistently in the Leadership Challenge research is visionary, competence, and competence, by the way, is leadership and management and technical, and inspiring. Now, when we talk about inspiring, it's not the raw kind of inspiring, but passionate and collaborative. You don't have to be a big cheerleader, and that's fine, but you've got to work with you and your style and that sort of thing. Jim Collins, in his Good to Great research, has determined that being passionate about what you're doing as a leader and what you're leading, and then using the folks in a collaborative way are the two main ingredients of inspiring. Okay. So again, those number one is honesty, integrity. Number two, or not number two, but the other three kind of lumped together, but they're far of other characteristics are visionary, competence, and inspiring. Few more in terms of the value to uncover these characteristics of you, the pieces under the surface, if you will, of your priorities and your preferences, surfacing them and knowing more about you, is that the courage to lead, the courage to take risks, to be bold. Being vulnerable is okay as long as you're not a blubbering fool. It's not about being all-knowing, all-wise, and all-powerful. Many leaders make that mistake that they have to have all the answers and so forth. Not so. In fact, people admire the leader, especially the new leader that comes in, that works with them, that doesn't pretend they know it all, because that they discover that right away. Okay. So willing to collaborate with others to generate the best pathways and solutions. Brene Brown has done a lot of, at the University of Houston, a lot of nice work on this and on vulnerability. And she talks about vulnerability as really the gateway to courage, which is something to really strive for. A few more. Value to the leader. Consistency, thinking and behavior need to be continuous, consistent, and learning and growing and improving, but not to be totally unpredictable. Okay. Couple more. Self-confidence to handle the rigors of leadership. Riding the waves, as you're probably well aware, it's up and down and back and forth and so forth. And the uncertainties, the surprises, it's all a part of leadership, comes with the game. Handling opposing points of view. You're bound to get that, especially if you're bold, okay? And you're willing to take risks and not always being popular. So the self-confidence to handle those rigors of leadership. And staffing is another one. The staffing, as you build your staff, the people around you, to build a complementary, that's with an E, complementary, and not a complementary with an I, key personnel. You want not to surround yourself with yes people, but people that you can engage in quality thinking and interacting to come up with the best solutions and the best pathways to action. So that's the value, many of the values of surfacing your subconscious priorities and preferences, and then being more alert, greater clarity in terms of your thoughts, feelings, behavior, and just where they come from. What we'll do in the next episode is to answer the question, who am I, at a deeper and more substantial level than you probably got to up to now. To go below the surface in your personal iceberg, if you will. Increase your self-awareness. Surfacing your subconscious priorities and preferences that drive your thoughts, feelings, and behavior. Okay, but for now, be good, and we'll see you next episode.